Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, guys. This is our first time trying to do a stream onto YouTube. It's very interesting.
Is it like completely different? I'm still getting used to like where everything is on the website.
It is very different. Is a little bit kind of weird.
Confusing.
I'm definitely still getting used to it. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Oh, let me adjust my camera. It's being weird.
Okay.
Okay, there. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness.
How do I chat? Oh, it's like all at the bottom. It's so weird. I don't know how to make things look normal. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Oh yeah.
View.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it either. Default view. There we go.
Theater mode, and now I was like, "Where's the chat?" I can't
Also,
see
how
the
do I
chat.
make the chat massive? Because I can't see how it's so small.
No, it's just.
Let's see.
I don't know. YouTube is so different.
Pop
I don't
out
understand.
chat. Pop out chat, and then how do I make it?
Oh, you can pop it out.
Yeah, you can pop it out, but also, how do you make?
Oh, I see it. Okay, pop it out. It's
text
popped out.
bigger. The text is so small. How does anyone read this text?
Wanna just like control and then like mouse wheel zoom?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. That's all I got. That's my only solution.
I guess so. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
This is going great.
Wee, hooray, huzzah.
Hello,
okay.
Anthony. Hello, Tinker. Yes, hello, bye, Joso.
I think next time, Jenny, I'll make it so that you can see my camera too, so that you can see my reaction better.
Yeah, I can't see. Everything that you say is like on like a 2-minute delay. So I'm like, I have no idea what your face is saying right now.
Okay, let me see if I can join the thing and then you can see me. Yeah, hold on. Join the room with the camera.
Let me move more with all the windows.
Okay.
Okay.
Video source. How do I do video source? Okay, change my camera to this one.
Difficulties. You know, this is just classic first stream. Just figuring shit out.
Yo, for real.
Fun story, you guys. Like 10 minutes before we decided to like start stream. You guys know how I had my microphone against the wall on a wall mount? That shit just completely broke off. So,
love it.
Like screw hole in my wall right now.
So advanced.
And I had to move my microphone to the table. So yeah, it's just some scuff shit right now.
Oh my god. Love it. All right, so
I can see you.
Perfect. Now you can see my face and how we're reacting when we're talking about our beautiful BL boys. Love it.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yes. All right, let me have the chat open so I can see. So yeah, hi guys. We're here doing our first YouTube live stream of BLHQ podcast. We usually stream on Twitch on Jenny Belly's platform, but then we decided no, we should really just stream on our own channel, and why not give it a try on YouTube, since YouTube has been pushing for podcasters and whatnot. So this might be better for us, I don't know, and it is also a great way for you guys to watch our VODs after the fact if you want to. Yeah, which is also available on our Patreon. So in a way, I guess you guys are getting some extra stuff, but whatever, we're just having fun making our content.
Yeah, it's great. I'm excited. I'm excited for this because I think the added value of seeing our facial reactions when we're talking about certain things might be really fun.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah,
I love it so much.
Excited.
So a little bit, if you guys don't know already, because most of you who are here probably already know, but we are BLHQ podcast. It's a podcast Jenny, Belly, and I do where we talk about BL. And if you don't know what BL is, it means boys love, or yaoi.
Boys love. Yeah. All the gay shit.
All the gay shit, you guys. We're here for the gay shit. Yes. It is our personality at this point. It defines us.
I have no other topic of conversation that interests me. I only care about talking about BL right now.
Yeah. It's like our hobby. When people are like, "Oh, do you have any hobbies outside of cosplay?" I'm like, "Oh, let me tell you."
Yeah. Oh my god. Literally during ANYC, I told everyone in my room, my hotel room, about the weighing Lan Chang, the incense streams. Like, I spent like 2 hours talking in full detail about the incense stream arc, and they're just like, you know, it's really interesting.
They're like, when is she gonna stop talking?
I know.
Yeah, she's holding us hostage right now.
Definitely.
Oh my god. All right, so while we record, let me turn off my music just in case it is gonna record by accident. Okay, so while we are like doing this live podcast, between chapters we'll like read chat and everything, so if you guys have things to talk about while we're recording, we'll be able to read it between chapters. It's pretty fun. You know, like especially people who've been following the podcast and been like reading the books and stuff, you guys know where we're at.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Oh, my freaking Google. Hold on one sec. Okay, Google, stream.
Did it go off?
It changes the light every time at 4 o'clock. Like every day at 4 o'clock. I have no idea why.
You should just turn that off because you're like streaming at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't know how to change it. It's like a thing. I don't worry about it. It's just the bane of my existence. It's fine.
Later.
It's fine. Yeah,
it only happens like every day.
Okay. So yeah. Let me start the Zencaster recording.
Okay, cool.
And then where is your microphone in relation to you right now?
Right in front of me.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay. Let's get started. Welcome to BLHQ. I'm Stella Chu.
And I'm Jenny Belly.
This is our weekly podcast breaking down the Dame web novel Heaven Official's Blessing, written by MXTX. We deep dive a few chapters at a time and discuss themes, cultural backgrounds, and our overall reactions. Spoilers abound and screaming will be had, so you've been warned.
And a little recap of last week's episode. Xie Lien and Hua Cheng flee Puchi village after a fight against Heaven's Eye and his army of monks. They eventually come across a ghostly inn in the middle of nowhere, operated by Qi Rong and his subordinates. Xie Lien tries to save Heaven's Eye's group from Qi Rong's plans, and in doing so finds out that Fu Yao is also at the inn pursuing Long Ying and the fetus spirit. Hua Cheng destroys the inn in order to stop everyone fighting. Then Feng Xin contacts Xie Lien to explain that Mu Qing is a fugitive who ran away from Heaven's prisons. Fu Yao notices that Xie Lien is acting strange and asks who is he talking to.
Now we're on chapter 140, which is actually in the American translation. I think it's like book 5 at this point, because we just finished the American translation of book 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we're really far along in this.
Yeah. We're kind of like going neck and neck, though. It's kind of cool.
Almost, yeah, at this point. So chapter 140, sharp tongues and pointed teeth, winds swallowed and arrows shredded. Xie Lien pretends that nothing is wrong. He lies, letting out a sigh and saying that he was trying to contact someone in the upper court, but he doesn't know anyone's password. He asks if Fu Yao can contact someone so that they can ask for assistance. But just then, Hua Cheng speaks up, saying that Guzi is burning up and hasn't eaten anything in 2 days. Xie Lien is outraged and yells at Qi Rong, "How on earth do you take care of kids?" Qi Rong spits back that he's not a real dad. The kid's just lucky that he didn't eat him. In fact, he should be getting merits for not eating him. Xie Lien replies back to Qi Rong Xie Lien replies back that Qi Rong probably didn't eat him because he was sick. On the side, Lan Chang speaks up. "Is that child sick? How about I take a look?"
Do we want to? I think we should take a moment to like remind everyone who all these people are, because their names might be a little bit confusing.
Yes.
So Lan Chang is the prostitute ghost who has the fetus spirit, and that's her child. At this point we have no idea who the father of the fetus spirit is, but it looks like that during the interrogation of Lan Chang and the fetus spirit, Mu Qing got somehow involved and he became a fugitive because he was imprisoned in heaven and then he ran away from heaven. So now everyone's like looking for him. And Mu Qing's junior general is Fu Yao. And Fu Yao is the one at the inn right now who's pursuing Long Ying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of people. And then Qi Rong, Qi Rong has a baby that is not his baby.
Guzi.
And no, his name is Guzi. And the little baby child who's like, 7 years old is like burning up with fever. And everyone's like, fighting, but then all of a sudden they stop and they're like, oh no, this child is dying. What do we do?
Literally, he was like locked in a shed for 3 days because Qirong is an awful fucking person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that's a good recap. So I'm going to continue on. Even though Lan Chang is injured from the fallen, she cradles Guzi in her arms and uses her cold body to cool his fever. Fu Yao walks out with a fetus spirit wrapped in talismans and says, "It's time to go." Lan Chang doesn't want to leave, but she has no choice since her child is captured. Xie Lien notices this and says, "Wait, don't leave yet, Fu Yao. Are you able to communicate with your general right now?" Fu Yao looks at him and says, "What do you want?" But before he can react, Xie Lien shoots his hand out fast like lightning and restrains Fu Yao's arms behind his back.
Out of nowhere.
Yes.
Fu Yao is shocked at being captured, and Xie Lien reveals that he already knew that Fu Yao was in trouble with heaven. Fu Yao shouts that Xie Lien tricked him, and Xie Lien ignores that, instead telling him that his general should return to heaven immediately. Fu Yao angrily says in a low voice, "That's easy for you to say. If I were you, would you go back? If it were you, would you go back? Go back to be wronged and wait for conviction? Go back to wait for death?" Xie Lien says to stay calm. He's being serious, not sarcastic. Mu Qing's situation's not so bad that he can't return. His only mistake was running away. Xie Lien offers to help investigate and prove his innocence. And actually, it's kind of surprising that Fu Yao says that, because literally a few arcs ago, Xie Lien was willing to take the blame for something that he didn't do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, which one?
It was it was right after the Banyue arc, I believe. And he was saying that it was all his fault for having done something.
He wanted to shield like the ghost Banyue, right? Like,
yeah, and there was like another time where with Lan Chang was it Lan Chang the thing that like his past when he was the Guoshi. Yeah, he wanted to take the blame.
I mean, that one he's like, he feels super guilty about it because he's like, I am responsible for everyone's death, and that was, I think, well, at this point, like, everyone in heaven already thinks that Mu Qing is guilty, and Xie Lian's like, hey, you should go back, and he's like, are you fucking crazy? Everyone thinks I'm guilty. Like, no one's gonna be like sticking up for me. Fu Yao is shocked that Xie Lian is offering his help. Xie Lian comments that he's very experienced in investigations, but Fu Yao replies that all the heavenly officials that he's helped But Fu Yao replies that all the heavenly officials that he's helped investigate ended up in terrible situations. Literally, Pei Jr. got exiled. Shiqing Xuan is missing. Xiudu is dead, and Ling Wen is a fugitive.
Everything Xie Lian touches goes to bad. Yeah, it burns. Oh no.
That's so fucking awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Mu Qing is like, don't help me. Xie Lien awkwardly replies that those investigations were different. As long as Mu Qing is innocent, then he can prove it. Fu Yao laughs and says that the bad blood between Xie Lien and Mu Qing is infamous. Why would he believe that he'd help Mu Qing sincerely? He accuses Xie Lien of using this scandal to drag Mu Qing through the mud and laugh at him, and that his offer is all fake.
It's so sad that Mu Qing feels that way. Like, Mu Qing never believes that anyone has his back.
I know.
Even his
he's
own,
all alone in the world.
Yeah, even his own friend.
So sad.
Hearing this, Hua Chen's face grows dark, but then he smiles and says, "Never mind, Gege. This guy doesn't know how to recognize goodness when he sees it, so why waste your breath? Some people are simply born ungrateful. He doesn't trust you, and I don't have time to care for him anyway. Let him struggle and figure things out for himself." Fu Yao looks at him, not fooled by the disguise, and says sarcastically, "This kid?" Hua Chen returns the look and says, just as sarcastically, "This junior official." Fu Yao face drops.
Yeah. Just to remind everyone, Hua Cheng is in the body of like a 15-year-old kid or something right now.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you guys have figured out who Fu Yao is at this point, because they've dropped so many hints right now.
It's Mu Qing. But is it a clone of Mu Qing? I'm not really sure.
It is actually Mu Qing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just disguised. He has a different skin on.
Stupid. So stupid.
Yeah. Xie Lien gently says that personal and business shouldn't be mixed. Even if there is a personal grudge, he would not let anything affect an investigation. Xie Lien explains, Mu Qing is narrow-minded, petty, sensitive, and skeptical, has a bad personality, constantly guessing, doesn't say nice things, likes to nag, always offending people, and a lot of people dislike him. He has no friends, and he can remember small, unimportant details for a long period of time. But I've known him since we were kids, after all. He's still got principles.
It's like, he's such bad in this way and this way. He's such an asshole in this way and this way. But we've been friends for a long time, so like, I love him.
I'll help him. I'll still help him. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
Xie Lien, so freaking ridiculous. Mooching is speechless. Xie Lien adds, he might spit in the cup of someone he doesn't like, but he would never poison the water to harm others. Is that any better? Like,
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Hua Cheng comments, really? That's still gross though. And Fu Yao shouts, no, he wouldn't spit either.
Xie Lien thinks and says, laxatives then. Fu Yao is barely containing his anger, and he says, you must describe him this way? Oh, let me do that again. Must you describe him this way? Are you speaking for him or against him? Xie Lien apologizes and says that perhaps Mooching can come to Xie Lien and they can investigate together. That way, at least, he'll have a witness to vouch for him. Otherwise, things will get worse if you can't clear his name. Just then, Chiron let out a loud roar of laughter. He recognizes Lan Chang and says, I wonder who this was. Isn't this my lady Jiang Lang? Lan Chang is shocked. She hasn't heard that name in hundreds of years. Chiron laughs, saying, what, so everyone's turned into a ghost? Fucking around here and there, and it's all familiar faces. This world really is small and lively.
Xie Lien is confused. Who is John Lan? Chiron laughs at him, calling him blind. So in the kingdom of Shanle, which is where Xie Lien and Chiron are from originally, like 800 years ago, there was the #1 maiden of the country named John Lan. She was indescribably glorious, coming from a family of politicians and merchants. Her looks and beauty were famous. In fact, she almost entered the royal harem to become a concubine, which means that she would have been one of Xie Lien's wives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Xie Lien is shocked and looks at Lan Chang again. Back then, his parents were in the process of selecting concubines for him and invited many women to the palace to see if there was anyone that Xie Lien might fancy. However, young Xie Lien only had room in his heart for cultivation, so he never bothered to remember the names of faces of the visiting women.
He's like, yeah,
I'm a virgin.
Super virgin. Not interested in women. Ew. Boobs. Ugh.
Only swords.
Ugh.
No women. Only swords.
Swords. Yes.
Oh, I
my
just realized that could have been a play on words with another thing.
It is. It is.
He only has swords on his mind.
Well, MXTX's bottoms are always so straight or virginal.
I know. Can you? Oh my god! Like literally, like Wei Ying, especially. He has no idea that he's gay. Like he has no idea.
He's just like, guys just hug each other. Whatever. Guys sometimes make out. Whatever. That's totally fine. Sometimes they sleep next to each other. It's totally normal.
Everything is fine. He just doesn't realize it until like literally the very last part of the book.
Yeah. Yep. Oh god. Just thinking about it, so stupid.
I know. It's so
yeah,
bad.
sometimes just guys, put their dicks in each other. It's fine. It's totally straight. They're just
and,
practicing.
And Scumvillain, so stupid. Oh my god.
Stupid.
They're so stupid. Why are they all so dumb?
They don't know how gay they are. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, anyways.
Lan Chang suddenly covers her ears and cries, don't say it out loud. Don't use that name to address me. I've long since changed names. Xie Lien sighs. The daughter of a noble family is now a prostitute in the ghost realm. It makes sense that she changed her name, afraid to bring shame to her dead family, choosing instead to be a different person. Xie Lien sadly thinks that the last citizen of his kingdom has become like this. Just then, Hua Cheng holds his hand, comforting him as if knowing his thoughts. Though his hand is cold, Xie Lien finds it infinitely warm.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Chiron is less sympathetic and mocks her, saying that the famous John Lan is now an ugly old hag. He tries to guess who got her pregnant. He says, it can't be Xie Lien. No, that cousin of mine probably can't even get it up. Oh, how could I forget? After Shanle fell, weren't you sold to that kind of place? It must be the seat of some Yong'an pleb. And just as a reminder, because of war crimes, all the Shanle nobles, after Yong'an won the war, they were sold off and stripped of their titles, And it really makes sense why Anlei, who was the last descendant of Xie Lien, tried to get revenge and kill all the Yong'an royal family, because literally they were sold to like prostitute houses or like left homeless. So everyone was like in a really tough situation. But that's
so messed
war.
up.
Yep. Jianlan explodes and slaps Qirong so hard that his nose bleeds. Qirong shouts at her and says, "How dare a nobody ghost like her put her hands on an almost supreme ghost?" But Jianlan spits on his face, chokes his neck, and slaps him twice more.
Everyone beats up Qirong. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She shouts, "What shitty supreme? Who do you think you are? Think you're even worth to be thought of as equals with the other 3 supremes? What are you even good at? Your thick skin? Of course, I dare hit you." Qirong is extremely triggered by the reminder that he's not a supreme, and he shouts with spit flying, "Foul slut, let go of your foul slut, let go of me with your chicken claws. You're dirty." The two of them get into a brawl, but since Qirong is bound by Roye, Jiang Lang beats him one-sidedly. Qirong howls at the unfairness. "Xie Lian, how come you won't stop this fight? Where's your saintly heart?" Xie Lian continues to hold Fu Yao captive, talking to Hua Cheng and ignoring the fight.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
I know. He's just like, also, why is it unfair? Like, he's always being unfair, but as soon as he gets unfair treatment back to him, he's like complaining about it.
Because he's a stupid royal brat.
Yes. Jianlan kicks Qirong and spits, "Even if this old mistress is wasted by plebs, I don't want a worm like you touching a single finger. You are unwanted by everyone. Trash!" Qirong shouts back, "Unwanted? Me? Trash? A hussy who's rotten to the bones like you have the right to say that to me? Who else but plebs would appreciate looks like yours? Wait, put down that boulder!" At that moment, Hua Cheng frowns and says, "Someone's coming uninvited." At the same time, lightning flashes in the sky, and when the light disperses, a tall man carrying a longbow is seen running towards them. It's Feng Xin.
Xie Lian discreetly hides Hua Cheng behind him and says, Feng Xin, why did you come?" Feng Xin explains that Xie Lian stopped responding in the communication array, so he went back to go look for him. But then he notices Fu Yao in Xie Lian's capture and freezes. He's so shocked that he doesn't know what to say. So he decides to ignore it for now and instead points at Hua Cheng. "What's with this child?" Xie Lian laughs. "Cute, right?" Feng Xin glares at Hua Cheng and says, "Cute? But why do I think he looks a lot like..." Xie Lian says, "Like my son, right?" Feng Xin is shocked. What? When did you have a son?" Xie Lian smiles. "I haven't yet. I was just saying that if I do have a son, he would be just as cute, right?" Hua Cheng smiles and agrees. "Right." Fu Yao and Feng Xin stare in disbelief.
This whole conversation.
I can imagine them vomiting so rainbows.
Stupid. I know, basically, like, the fuck. But just then, Xie Lian realizes that Lan Chang is running away. Quickly, Feng Xin turns around and shoots an arrow towards her legs. But the fetus spirit senses the danger and breaks free of the talismans, lunging at Feng Xin. Jianlan shouts out to her son, "Suo Suo." Suo Suo is the name of the fetus spirit, but it also means mistake. So it's like...
So messed up.
She named her child Mistake.
She named her child Accident. Get back over here.
Yeah.
That's so messed up.
But surprisingly, Suo Suo bites the arrow out of the air and hops into a nearby tree. Suo Suo has changed shape. Instead of a fetus, it now looks like a deformed little monster with powder white skin and abnormally large eyes. His head has a few strands of yellow hair. He also has razor-sharp fangs and a long red tongue like a snake.
Gross. Yeah. Feng Xin immediately reaches for a new arrow, but Suo Suo crawls up the tree like a lizard. Jianlan cries, "Don't fight him! Run!" But it's too late. Feng Xin's arrow nails it in the leg to the tree. Jianlan tries to pull the arrow out, but her ghost level is too weak and her touches causes sparks to fly off the arrow, pushing her back. But she doesn't give up, trying over and over again to pull out the arrow, causing sparks to fly out everywhere. Feng Xin is putting away his bow when he finally sees her face and recognizes her. He shouts, "Jianglan?" Jianlan quickly turns around to hide her face, but Feng Xin pulls her around and asks her again, Jianlang?
Jianlan mumbles that he has the wrong person, but Feng Xin exclaims, what are you talking about? How can I mistake you for anyone else? You look very different now, but I would still not... But then he remembers how during the heavenly trial, he didn't remember her with her heavy makeup on. To be fair to Feng Xin, Jianlan not only looked different, but also acted and talked like a completely different person. Not even her own parents could have recognized her. Feng Xin is astonished, and he says that he thought she had married and was living well. How did she become this way? At that point, Jianlan turns around furiously and shoves him. You motherfucker!
Okay, well, we're about to unfold a whole new part of the story. If you guys haven't guessed what it's gonna be about, you're gonna find out now. Feng Xin is speechless. Jianlan continues to shove him forcefully as she screams, I already said I'm not that hag. Do you not understand human words? Are you dumb in the head? Can you not pretend to not know me? Can you not pretend to not recognize me? Please, I beg you, leave me some face, yeah? All right? Feng Xin is shocked at her behavior. He can only stare at her dumbly. Qirong laughs. Oh my fucking god. Cousin Crown Prince, do you see what's happening? You got cucked by your most loyal dog. Jianlan stomps on Qirong. Dog? A dog? You're the most like a dog.
Immediately, Xie Lien understands what's going on. On one hand, Jianlan almost got selected for the harem, but it's not like she had formally entered it at the end, so she never belonged to Xie Lien or became his concubine. But he never could have imagined that Feng Xin, who has always been afraid of women, would actually... But just then, Suoso manages to break free of the arrow and lunges at Feng Xin, biting down so hard on his arm that blood pours out. Feng Xin is about to use his other arm to strike, but Jianlan cries out, "Don't hit it!" Feng Xin immediately pauses and then also realizes what's going on. He's looking at the fetus spirit gnawing on his arm and then looks at Jianlan and he says, is this? Oh no. Oh no.
This arc is so messed up. All the arcs are so messed up. Every arc gets more messed up as time goes.
There's nothing wholesome going on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. So that's the end of that chapter. Let's take a look. Well, first of all, let me open my door. I don't know if you can hear, but my cat's been crying this whole time.
Oh, I actually haven't heard her, so that's good. But yeah, I'll let you guys have 3 guesses on who the father of the fetus spirit is.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Also, been crying so much to get into the room. This sweet boy. What are you? What are you? You just want my attention, sir?
So cute.
Okay.
Oh, so in this section, Qirong says that Xie Lien got cucked by Feng Xin, and there's a little bit of if you guys remember during the Lantern Festival when they're doing plays about the gods, MXTX put in a little footnote that sometimes when there's plays about Feng Xin and Xie Lien is in the plays, it's always about Xie Lien stealing away Feng Xin's lover. So that's kind of like hinting towards like this drama that's going on right now. Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's look through some chat.
Yeah.
Where are we? So,
Kate's like, wouldn't you be afraid of women if you dated her? Facts.
Yeah. Does he like? I guess he likes strong women.
Aggressive.
Yeah, strong, women. Aggressive women.
And also Mu Qing. I still ship them. I don't care what the canon is. I still ship him with Mu Qing.
I know, right?
Yeah, they're so perfect together. What are you saying?
Let's see. Can't wait to see all the gushing. Yes, there's tons of gushing.
Lots of gushing.
Let's see. Thanks for the recap. Yes, we'll try our best to remind you guys who and is what and where.
Yes. And if you guys like are lost about like what the situation is, feel free to ask us to elaborate, because I would love to like elaborate and like make it more simple to understand, because especially since we're going at it at a quick pace.
Let's see. He's just bashing him, and then like no worries, it's all good. Yeah, just bashing Mu Qing, being like, he's a piece of shit.
He said so many mean things. So funny.
I love it. Oh man. Okay, so let's move on to chapter 141. I choose the path I walk. Xie Lien suddenly realizes that during the Heavenly Court, Lan Chang randomly accused everyone, but she never accused Feng Xin. Fu Yao's face is dumbfounded. It looks like he hadn't known Feng Xin was connected to her at all. Feng Xin realizes that he's the father and stares in disbelief at the fetus spirit still gnawing on his bloodied arm. Janlang denies it, saying that Feng Xin is not the father, and even if he was, it's not like he can recognize him or raise him. Qirong mocks Feng Xin, saying that his own son was carved out of the mother's belly and turned into a ghost. No more mothers better pray to the great Nang Yang, or else their own babies might. But before he can finish, Xie Lien uses Royer to seal his mouth shut. Jiang Lang also stomps on his head. At that moment, Guzi wakes up and sees his dad getting trampled. He lunges forward. Don't step on my dad.
So just as a reminder, remember how in the very first arc, there was a joke about Feng Xin's temple name was Nan Yang, and they mistranslated it, and it was like Big Dick General instead of like whatever else it was supposed to be. So Qirong is like making fun of him, saying like, "Oh yeah, what a big dick general! Like your own son was like carved out of the mother's stomach and turned into a ghost. That's really fucked up, by the way. Like that's really fucked up." Yeah. John Lan pulls So off Feng Xin and runs away, but Feng Xin is too dazed to stop her. Xie Lien quickly tells Royer to chase after her before realizing that this frees Qirong. Qirong leaps to his feet and shouts, "I'm free!" But before Xie Lien says, "Royer, come back after all," and Royer flies back, slapping Qirong so hard that he spins 3 times before falling to the ground. Qirong is dazed and then grabs Royer, shouting, "Even a rag like you dare hit me?" Strangely, it's like Qirong's strength has suddenly increased. Qirong pulls Guzi in front of him like a shield and says that if anyone approaches him, he'll strangle the kid. Before Xie Lien can react, Hua Cheng begins to tremble, looking like he's enduring great pain. It's the arousal of the demons from Moung Tonglu. This wave seems stronger than all the other times before. Xie Lien goes to Hua Cheng, and Qirong uses this chance to escape with Guzi. Jianlan also looks like she's suffering from a headache, and Suoso attacks wildly, biting Feng Xin over 10 times.
Oh, like an angry cat.
Yes.
However, Feng Xin can't bring himself to hit it hard. So he just bleeds freely while using a hand to tightly grab Jianlan's arm. Suoso attacks again, this time cutting a large wound on Feng Xin's face, who still doesn't defend himself. Jianlan finally shouts, "If you keep this up, I'm gonna get angry!" Hearing his mother yell, Suoso stops attacking and curls up into her arms. She looks at Feng Xin and says, "He has nothing to do with you. I'm warning you, don't bother us." Then she runs away. Feng Xin kneels on the ground, covering his face. Xie Lien goes to check on his wounds, but Feng Xin pushes him away with strong resentment. He swings his fist in anger, so powerful that the tree nearby cracks in half. Xie Lien is taken aback. Hua Cheng comments coldly, "Who turned your wife and son into ghosts? If you've got fire, go burn the right person."
Oh, poor Feng Xin.
That's so messed up.
I know. At that, Feng Xin glares at Fu Yao. Fu Yao is instantly furious, saying that he and his general have nothing to do with it. Mu Qing only recognized her because she was a citizen of Shanle and wanted to help since she was connected to the royal family. But nothing good came out of it, and he stepped in shit. What bloody luck. Hua Cheng comments idly that this little incident is considered bloody... Hua Cheng comments idly that if this little incident is considered bloody luck, then what about the people who suffer worse luck? Can they even live on anymore? Feng Xin is still in shock, and Xie Lien tries to help heal his wound again, but Feng Xin keeps his distance and stumbles away. Fu Yao asks Xie Lien to let him go so that he can follow after him, so Xie Lien releases him. He says that the upper court is in such a mess, perhaps it's best if Wu Qing does not return after all. He suspects that someone is controlling the fetus spirit and making it slander Wu Qing that way.
Fu Yao replies that he doesn't care about that. He's gonna go to Moung Tonglu to capture Suoso first. Since everyone has left, Xie Lien goes to the cottage to check on the group of monks. They're unconscious but unharmed, so he decides to leave too. After walking a while, they find a real inn and stop to rest. Xie Lien is sitting looking dazed, so Hua Cheng sits with him, reassuring him that that incident has nothing to do with you. Xie Lien says that Feng Xin must have gotten close to Jiang Lan after Shanle fell during his first banishment. Hua Cheng insists that it doesn't mean it's Xie Lian's fault. Xie Lian thinks for a while and then says, Salong, I've never talked about my banishment, have I? Hua Cheng says, no. Xie Lian says that he's never told anyone, but he'd like to share with Hua Cheng if he doesn't mind.
So we're about to get a little snippet into how Xie Lien lived after he got banished and was no longer a god. So it's not great. It's not great. Back then, he only had Feng Xin after Mu Qing left, so life was difficult. All of his possessions were pawned for money, including his golden belts. At some point, he had ordered Feng Xin to take one of the golden belts for himself so that he can have his own money. Feng Xin refused for a long time, but Xie Lian kept insisting until Feng Xin finally said that he would hold on to one in case Xie Lian wanted it back later. Secretly, Xie Lian had wanted to give Feng Xin money because he was afraid that he would leave him if he didn't get any rewards. Feng Xin still treated Xie Lian like a god and crown prince, even though he was banished and poor. Not once did Feng Xin ever expect any compensation for being a bodyguard, but for the first time in his life, Xie Lian feared that he would leave now that their lives were so tough. That golden belt was less like a gift and more like a bribe.
During the dream where Xie Lian first met the fetus spirit, he had seen an old protection charm, 800 years old. This was probably a protection charm that Feng Xin had gifted Jian Lan. Back then, everyone had stopped believing in Xie Lian and threw away all his protection charms, but Feng Xin still loyally handed them out, telling Xie Lian he still believes in him and that he still has believers. But Xie Lian knew in his heart that they were all ended up thrown away. This whole time, he never noticed that Feng Xin liked anyone. Feng Xin was always dedicated to Xie Lian, treating him like the center of the world. So Xie Lian never asked about his personal life or his heart. That golden belt was the only valuable thing Feng Xin had left, so he must have gifted it to the girl he liked. At the time, they barely had enough money to eat, so for him to give such an expensive item away instead of selling it shows just how much he liked her.
Oh man, Feng Xin is such a good boy.
It's so sad.
He stayed with him until the very fucking end and didn't ask for any money, didn't care about anything, just there for Xie Lian.
I'm so sad for him.
I know. Xie Lian wonders why they split ways. Oh, he's talking about why Feng Xin and the girl split ways. He feels guilty, wondering if his poverty is the reason Feng Xin had to give her up. But Hua Cheng comforts him, saying that if Feng Xin truly loved that girl, they wouldn't have split ways. Xie Lian smiles wryly and says that life isn't that simple. Sometimes things happen out of anyone's control. He says, sometimes it's not up to you to decide if the road is easy to walk. But Hua Cheng replies, I might not be able to decide whether the road is easy or not, but whether I walk, oh my gosh, I'm gonna say that again. I might not be able to decide whether the road is easy or not, but whether I walk it is entirely up to me. Meaning that even if life beats him down, he still chooses to pursue. Hearing this, Xie Lian feels like a knot in his heart is untied. He stares at Hua Cheng until Hua Cheng tilts his head and says, Gege, am I wrong? Instantly, Xie Lian lifts Hua Cheng up and sits him on his lap, saying, Sanlang, you're very right. Hua Cheng is stunned that Xie Lian is hugging him, but Xie Lian continues laughing, saying, to say something shameless, what Sanlang just said and the way you said it quite resembles me when I was younger.
Aww.
So cute, so cute, so cute.
And remember that Hua Cheng is like a 10-year-old boy at this point, maybe, because he keeps regressing.
He is. And like Xie Lian, remember how he used to say like really embarrassing, pompous things? Like hearing Hua Cheng say such things in the body of like a 15-year-old like really reminds him of his own past and like how he used to be.
Xie Lian plays more with Hua Cheng, lifting him into the air a few times before they finally decide to go to sleep. But right as they settle in, Hua Cheng suddenly sits up and glares at something across the room. Xie Lian also sits up. There's a figure calmly sitting at the table with a pot of tea. How long has he been there? How come Xie Lian never noticed him earlier? Instantly, Xie Lian points his sword and shouts, Who is it? But the man replies gently, Don't be afraid. Tea, Shenle? Hearing this, Xie Lian lowers his guard. He realizes that it's Jun Wu in his youthful form. Jun Wu being the god emperor of heaven.
Yeah, big boss.
But at the same time, he quickly hides Hua Cheng under the blankets and then asks, "Why has my lord descended?" Jun Wu calmly pours 3 cups of tea and replies, "You didn't come back, so naturally I had to come down personally to see." Then Jun Wu stands and walks towards the bed, holding a sword. Xie Lien is alarmed and stands up saying, "My lord, I can explain." But unexpectedly, Hua Cheng pulls off the blankets and sits up casually with a smile. "I don't think that's necessary."
Dun, dun, dun.
What's going on?
Oh, is shit about to go down?
Yeah.
And also there was a note at the end of this chapter from MXCX, the author, saying that so Xie Lien and Moung Tonglu are both enrolled in the Holy Royal Pavilion, which is where they learn cultivation. So they both have to follow this road of purity. So like no sex, no impure thoughts in order to like have spiritual power. However, Feng Xin is not a cultivator. He actually ascended as just like having good martial arts ability, not from following cultivation or spirituality. So he doesn't have that purity restriction, which is how he was able to father a child.
Hey, what's up? The only non-virgin.
Basically, like canonically. Like,
yeah.
Oh, and Pei Ming also.
Oh, yeah. I'm Pei Ming.
Because he's a hoe. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so we're on to, well, before we go on to the next chapter, let's read through chat.
Yes, absolutely.
Ridiculous. I wish I could want to date women. You know what? You don't have to. You don't have to want to date women. You can also just want to live normally.
Just live your life.
Yeah,
it's totally fine.
See, oh no, the trauma you've heard of the despair. Yeah, it's so sad. The story.
Book 4. Oh my God.
Yes. Oh my God. Book 4. Oh my God.
It's like literally that paragraph like expanded in all the worst ways.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for subscribing, Yeehaw.
Thank you, Yeehaw.
Yeah, see, Tangurius predicts that Jun Wu's the father, not Feng Xin.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next chapter, chapter 142.
Chapter 142, I choose the path I walk. Xie Lien tries to step in between Hua Cheng and Jun Wu, but instead of fighting, Jun Wu just smiles and turns back to sit at the table. Xie Lien knows how terrifying Jun Wu is when he unsheaths his sword, having witnessed it himself. He never wants Xie Lien to ever face Jun Wu head on. Oh, sorry. He never wants Hua Cheng to ever face Jun Wu head on. Hua Cheng continues to watch Jun Wu warily, never taking his eyes off him. Jun Wu pushes forward the teacups and tells Hua Cheng that though this isn't the first time they've met, it's the first time they've been in such close range of each other. Let's just have tea and treat this as a peaceful occasion. Xie Lien puts back on his outer robe and boots and casually asks Jun Wu, How are things in the upper heaven? Oh, how are things in the upper court? But Jun Wu just puts down his tea, gazes out the window to watch the moon, and sighs. I do not wish to talk of it. It seems like things are very bad.
However, then Jun Wu looks at Xie Lien and says with a straight face, I kid. Even if I do not wish to talk about it, I must. Shanle, leave your little friend for now and follow me outside for a moment. He doesn't want Hua Cheng to overhear, but Hua Cheng already knows what's going on and says, Your upper court is in complete pandemonium. It's not a secret. Even little country bumpkin ghosts know that the gathering of ghosts couldn't be stopped this time and are howling nonstop in excitement. So why speak outside? He climbs out of bed to the table, and all 3 of them take a seat. Xie Lien asks Jun Wu if there's still some time before Moung Tonglu's gates open, but Jun Wu says that it's too late and that it can't be stopped anymore.
And I'm just gonna do a little recap of the Moung Tonglu situation. So there's this mountain, and it's sending out like waves of like demonic energy, which is making all the ghosts like full of like, they give them more strength and like more energy. And so with every wave, like that's why Qirong is suddenly growing stronger, is because with every wave he's like getting a burst of energy. And the original plan was for all the martial gods to stop all the ghosts from entering Moung Tonglu so that a new ghost king wouldn't be created. But like it sounds like that's no longer on the table anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So here's to elaborate. The original plan was to have all the martial gods seal off every road leading to Moung Tonglu, stopping all the ghosts who gather. But since Moung Tonglu escaped out of prison, there is a breach in the south. Feng Xin had also returned to heaven to report the truth of the fetus spirit situation, and he requested Jun Wu to leave Lan Chang and her son alone. but his injuries are severe and his right arm is so torn that it can barely move. So he's currently stuck in heaven recovering and he can't help with the Mount Tonglu situation. They need someone to lead an army to blockade the south. Xie Lien knows that he is not good at leading armies, so he doesn't want to volunteer. He asks if there are other martial gods who can do it, and he's traumatized from the last time he led an army.
Jun Wu replies that all the other martial gods are taking care of their own domains, already at their limits. Pei Jr. could have helped, but he is exiled. Quan Yizhen is missing and never responds when he's called. Ling Wen is also in hiding, and there's no one as capable as her to replace her position. It's been really tough the past few days in heaven. Xie Lien grows sympathetic and asks if there's any other remedy to the situation. Can anything be done? Jun Wu says that there is one way, but it's a last resort solution. He wants to send a martial god to infiltrate the gathering of ghosts in Moung Tonglu. Since the battle royale can't be stopped, instead, a spy can be sent to make sure no one leaves alive.
Ooh. This is a dangerous mission. The spy would have to go in alone with no help, or else the ghosts may notice that there are many heavenly officials mixed in. Mount Tonglu is also full of evil aura, so the spy's spiritual powers would be restricted, even more than they were in the Blackwater Demon Lair. Xie Lien is worried because he's unfamiliar with Mount Tonglu, but Hua Cheng says, "I'm familiar with Mount Tonglu." He explains that at the heart of Mount Tonglu is a giant kiln. All around the kiln are mountain ranges encircling it. The slaughter of ghosts, which is the battle royale, begins at the outer edges of the mountain range and continues into the center towards the kiln. The weak weeds are killed at the edges, so the ghosts that make it towards the center are exceptionally strong. The few remaining ghosts will all enter the kiln, and then the kiln will close.
After 49 days, a ghost must break out of the kiln and it is reborn as a new ghost king. However, if the ghosts inside are too weak and none can break out, then all of them will be suffocated and burned to ashes. Jun Wu's plan is to have a spy infiltrate and only kill the strong ghosts who have the potential to become ghost kings, since the weaker ghosts will die on their own from the trial. This is the first time they are attempting this plan. Since all previous years, the heavenly officials were able to block the demons from gathering in the first place. Hua Cheng crosses his arms and says, "I'm afraid it's not doable. To fight under these conditions is no different than suicide. I suggest that you, who came up with such a brilliant idea, go yourself."
Jun Wu actually surprises Xie Lien by saying that he does intend to go. He has descended in order to go to Mount Tonglu himself, and he wants Xie Lien to return to heaven to take care of his emperor duties. Xie Lien quickly shouts, "That won't do. Have me take your place temporarily? My lord, please don't joke. No one will listen to me." Jun Wu grins and says, "Then this will be a very good chance for them to start." Xie Lien rubs his forehead and says that he can't agree to this plan. How can an emperor become a spy? The heavenly court is held up by Jun Wu. No one can replace him. If he's gone, the sky will fall. But Jun Wu says with determination, "No matter who is lost, life will go on. There will always be new to replace the old. It's more important to stop another ghost king from being born, unless they want another white-clothed calamity to bring the world to chaos."
Jun Wu looks at Xie Lien and says, "You've seen with your own eyes just how difficult it was to kill a supreme like the white-clothed calamity. If it's not me who goes, then there's no other way." Xie Lien knows that Jun Wu isn't being arrogant. The spy is going to be in a weakened state, trapped with millions of ghosts, and have to accurately pick out the strongest ones to kill. Only Jun Wu has the biggest chance of success, but this mission could take up to 10 years. What will happen while he's gone? Just then Hua Cheng speaks up. "Who says there's no other way?"
Oh.
Are we really setting it up?
Plan? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went from like
Mount Tonglu arc.
fetus, spirit / brocade
Ancient
immortal.
stuff. Yes.
And now all of a sudden, like, we're jumping in. Like, so we're not wrapping up any of the arcs. They're all together at this point.
Yeah. Everything is still loose ties.
Yeah. My cat Oolong is now on my lap, and he's very.
Domino kept sitting on me, and I'm like, "Please move." I just
Can
kicked
you
her off.
wait? Is Domino still there? Can I see Domino? Can you hold
I
them
just
up?
kicked her off. Come back,
Get
Domino.
her. I want to see how big she is.
Come here. She's not as fluffy because she doesn't have long hair like Oolong.
But it looks like really small. She looks really small, like Puar. Oh wait, never mind. No, she's massive.
She's
Whoa.
fat. She's
Whoa,
really fat.
she's so big.
She's so fat. Like, she's
Wow.
so fucking fat. Look at you. You need to go on a diet. She's so fuzzy.
Aww.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
You get off now.
Domino.
You get off now. So cute.
Oh, cutie. Jun Wu's a Chad. He's gonna be like, nope, I'm going. Yeah. Well,
imagine like an emperor just being like, okay, subordinate, you take over my emperor duties and I'm gonna go infiltrate this thing because I'm the only one powerful enough to do it. Like, that's literally what he said.
it feels like a good thing to do. Very self-sacrificing.
Like self-sacrificing. Yeah. But let's continue. Pay attention to how Hua Cheng analyzes that situation, because he has some things to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should I just go on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, chapter 143. Gates open at Moung Tonglu, the assembly of millions of ghosts. Hua Cheng volunteers to accompany Xie Lien to Moung Tonglu. No one is surprised here. As they begin their journey, the next day, Hua Cheng tells Xie Lien, Gaga, next time you see Jun Wu, don't talk to him, turn around and run away. Xie Lien is confused, and Hua Cheng adds, every time he comes looking for you, it's never for anything good. Whether it's going to Moung Tonglu or helping him manage the heavens, neither are good assignments. The upper court is in complete shambles now. Might as well just let it break up. Why is he throwing that pile of mud on your lap? It's no different than choosing between a sword and a knife to commit suicide. Xie Lien can't help but laugh. Then he says seriously, still, I didn't think that you would volunteer to accompany me to Moung Tonglu. I've been thinking about this for a while, but Sanlang, absolutely don't force yourself.
Xie Lien volunteered because he'd rather get locked up in a kiln and fight to his heart's content than manage the heavens. He's worried that Hua Cheng is forcing himself to go along too, but Hua Cheng says, Gaga, I've already sworn 3 times I'm not forcing myself. Do you not believe me? Xie Lien replies, of course, it's not that. Hua Cheng nods, then just relax, Gaga. I know my limits. Don't feel like you owe me anything. Even from my position, I wouldn't mind stuffing the new Ghost King back before it's born. Right now, there's a shared balance among the 2 Ghost Kings and the heavens. There's only so much rice where everyone wants a bite. And if there was a 3rd Ghost King in the mix, there would be nothing left to eat.
But Hua Cheng is not helping for free. He negotiated terms with Jun Wu for helping with Moung Tonglu. All of heaven must leave Ghost City alone, and the heavenly court must also sing praises of the heroic deeds of the Crimson Rainsought Flower for an entire year. This is very petty. Hua Cheng loves stepping on the faces of the heavenly officials. Hua Cheng smiles and says that with him around, the mission will be much easier for Xie Lien. But Xie Lien is worried about Hua Cheng's current form and asks if they should wait until Hua Cheng's true form returns. But Hua Cheng says that he will revert to his true form again soon. Hearing this, Xie Lien is disappointed that Hua Cheng won't be small anymore, and he picks him up and raises him into the air, saying, it'll be such a shame. I won't be able to lift you up anymore after you grow up, so I best hug as much as I can now.
Yeah, so cute.
So cute.
Since they can't use the distance shortening array, they walk for 10 days until they reach the mountains. On the journey, they see fewer and fewer towns and more monsters and demons. Hua Cheng comments that there are more ghosts this time than before, since the heavens weren't able to put up such a full barricade. Xie Lien notices that there are many ghosts in groups, and Hua Cheng explains that some of the ghosts will band together and swear an alliance. But these things break up quickly because the easier targets are the ones closest to you. Suddenly, Hua Cheng stops and says, Gaga, come closer. I have something to tell you. Xie Lien moves his face closer, and Hua Cheng cups his face with his hands and touches his forehead against his. Xie Lien blinks, stunned. Salong, what are you?
Hua Cheng smiles and says, it's all ghosts and demons here. Gaga is a heavenly official. Your scent would be very conspicuous in here. This will help cover it a little bit. He is staining Xie Lien with his scent. After that, they put on disguises of a cloak and mask. Eventually, they come across a gathering of 400 ghosts stuck in front of a steep bluff. No one can get through because of a mountain blocking the path. Xie Lien asks a random ghost what's going on. Can they not go around the mountain? But the ghosts reply that they've run around for an hour and there's no way around it. Bird spirits even tried to fly over the mountain, but they died from exhaustion before they could fly over. It seems like passing this mountain is the first trial.
I was brushing along. Look at this. Just one
a lot. There's so
swoop.
much hair.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
This is the third time I've brushed him today.
Oh no. There's just cat hair everywhere.
As the crowd of ghosts argue amongst themselves over what to do, one of them suddenly shouts that he smells the scent of a heavenly official. Other ghosts can smell it too. Did a heavenly official sneak in? Xie Lien stays calm. Hua Cheng already covered his scent, so there's no way it could be him. Did a different heavenly official actually sneak in? One of the ghosts suggests that everyone remove their cloaks and masks and announce their title to find the heavenly official amongst them. Everyone agrees, and one by one the ghosts announce themselves and their title. However, the titles are all ridiculous and exaggerated, such as the unparalleled this or the mighty that. Xie Lien thinks that the people with titles like that are typically the easiest ones to defeat.
So very true.
Mm-hmm.
A ghost next to Xie Lien suddenly asks him why he hasn't removed his cloak. What is he? All eyes turn to him, and Xie Lien gently says, I'm a puppet master. A puppet master is a ghost with a very weak evil aura. In order to create the perfect puppet, they experiment with all sorts of specimens, so it's natural to have different kinds of scents, such as the scent of a human or heavenly official. Xie Lien lifts up Hua Cheng and pretends that he is his puppet. The ghosts are all in awe, saying that the puppet looks too real, so exquisite.
just
like a little marionette.
Yeah, that seems so silly. The female ghosts are especially moved by Hua Chen's looks and says, oh, I'm dying. What a handsome puppet. Master, do you take commissions? Can I order one exactly the same? But Hua Chen immediately brings him close away from prying hands. He quickly says, this is my puppet. He's got quite the temper. No one but me can touch him. Otherwise, he'll get very angry. At that, Hua Cheng raises his brows, and the ghosts all laugh. Ayo, he can even raise his brows? He's got attitude. But just then, another voice speaks up. I don't think that's it. Oh my god. I feel like female ghosts are like the best in this entire world. They're so sweet.
They're always just like, oh, look how cute that is. Or like just squeeing or like saying fun gossip. Yeah,
they're nice like aunties, you know?
They are auntie vibes. Oh my god. They're just like gossiping and cooing.
Supervisor be sweating 10 gears. Which supervisor? Oolong, what are you doing? Is it our cats? Our cats are sweating.
Our cats are just in everyone's way.
Yeah. Oolong is seriously crawling all over my desk right now.
I keep seeing his tail.
What a jerk. All right. Let's go over to chapter 144.
Okay. Chapter 144, Gates Open at Moung Tonglu, the Assembly of Millions of Ghosts. The voice is from a ghost that calls himself Swift, Light Extinguishing Blade Demon, and he says, the scent of humans on you is a little too heavy. The essence of evil on this puppet master doesn't feel like it's emitting from within, more like died from the outside. The ghost decides to test Xie Lien to see if he really is a ghost too. He pulls out a yellow talisman that he picked up from a cultivator that he killed on the way. He places the talisman on his own forehead and it burns up, leaving a black ashen mark on his skin. He gives another talisman to Xie Lien and says that if it doesn't leave a mark, then he isn't a ghost. Xie Lien doesn't react, but internally he is panicking. However, Hua Cheng whispers to him, saying, don't worry, Gaga.
Seeing that Hua Cheng has a plan, he confidently approaches the swift, lightning extinguishing blade demon and takes the talisman, placing it on his forehead. A second later, the talisman burns up, but Xie Lien's forehead has no mark. Instantly, hundreds of ghosts surround him, bringing out their weapons. But when they move to attack, they are repelled by an invisible barrier. Xie Lien is confused and says, I didn't do anything. Just then, Hua Cheng speaks up. You bunch of unlearned country bumpkin ghosts! What are you all looking so surprised for? What a bunch of fools. Of course there's no evil aura on his body. Because I'm the real puppet master. Hua Cheng lets out his evil aura, and the ghosts feel it instantly, shivering in fear.
I just have to, just time out for... This whole section reminds me of Omegaverse, a little too much, okay? There's, scenting, and then he's also, letting out his aura, which is, letting out pheromones. That's just a little too coincidental, right? Come on. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. The swift, light-extinguishing blade demon is still suspicious, and he asks Xie Lien, so it's the opposite? He's the master and you're the puppet? Then why did you say that you were the puppet master earlier? What's the intention of your lie? Hua Cheng smiles and says, because I thought it'd be amusing. Xie Lien plays along and smiles too, saying, that's right, master finding it amusing is the most important reason. The female ghosts now turn to Xie Lien to examine him, but this time their comments are more bold, saying, so this little Guga is the real puppet? I like this age better. Now I want one even more. Are you sure you don't take orders? Both the face and body look pretty good, eh? Looks like the feel of his skin is nice too. But he's a little skinny. I wonder if there's some meat in there after stripping the clothes off.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, these ghosts are so thirsty.
So horny.
Yeah.
Basically, they're, us. All the female ghosts are us. That's what it is.
We are the ghosts.
Yep. The female ghosts get closer to Xie Lien, almost about to touch his chest, but Huatsen waves his fingers and the ghosts are pushed away. Xie Lien immediately crouches behind Huatsen to hide. The female ghosts are annoyed. What? Are you going to say that this puppet has a bad temper too and doesn't like other people touching him? He looks nice. Huatsen reaches out and lifts Xie Lian's chin. His temper is certainly nice, but my temper is bad. No one shall touch what I love except for me. Xie Lian obediently raises his face, looking back, holding back his laughter. He says earnestly, no, Master's temper is very nice too. Huatsen laughs also, looking satisfied. I know! Oh my god! The fan service! The fucking fan service!
Right now? Are you kidding me? They just included this in the book.
Yes, yes.
It is included a master servant scenario.
For
no
us.
big deal.
For us.
Everything is fine. Everything is
I
fine.
love fan fiction in which Xie Lien is obedient. Oh my god,
Yes,
I love it so much.
Yes, it's so good. A different ghost speaks up that the scent of human on Xie Lien is still too strong, and he's still suspicious. He wants to stab Xie Lien to see if he bleeds. If he doesn't bleed, then he's a real puppet. But if he bleeds, then he's human. But before he can move, he is frightened to silence with a sharp eye. Hua Cheng says coldly, try touching him. I dare you. Think I would let the things I treasure be so easily touched by you lot? The ghosts are still afraid of Hua Cheng's aura earlier, and now that they've heard his threat, they don't dare to move another muscle. Seeing that Hua Cheng's mood has gone down, the swift, light-extinguishing blade demon tries to smooth things over before things go downhill. He says, please, don't be furious, Puppet Master. We haven't even entered the boundaries of Moung Tonglu yet. We can talk more after going in. Let's not start things among ourselves now.
Huatsen glances to the side and says, rather than harassing my puppet, why not ask instead why that one still won't remove their cloak? There's a cloaked figure standing off to the side who hasn't removed their cloak since the arguments had started, looking like he's just enjoying the show. But with Huatsen's comment, he becomes the center of attention. The swift light extinguishing blade demon approaches him and says, will this friend also remove your cloak to let us see? After a long silence, the figure pulls off his cloak, and underneath is a plain and normal face, one that looks easily forgotten. The ghosts are disappointed, but Xie Lien is wary. Huatsen tells Xie Lien, obviously a fake face. It's common practice for heavenly officials and prominent ghosts to use a fake, forgettable face when they're doing secret business in the mortal realm.
Swift, light-extinguishing blade demon hands the cloaked man a talisman, and he sticks it on his forehead without hesitation. It actually burns up, leaving a mark. So this man is a ghost, not a human. The ghosts all grow agitated. Is there even really a heavenly official amongst them or not? But just then, the swift, light-extinguishing blade demon suddenly screams and topples over. There is a hole in his abdomen caused by a sword, and the wound has a faint residue of spiritual energy only found on a heavenly official. The ghosts are all shocked. So there really is a heavenly official amongst them? Things fall into chaos, and the ghosts all raise their weapons, looking in all directions. Xie Lien uses this chance to shout, everyone saw that just now, right? My master and I were both under your scrutiny the entire time. We didn't do anything.
The swift light extinguishing blade demon pulls out a stack of 200 more yellow talismans, saying that everyone should use this to find that hidden heavenly official. The ghosts all stick a talisman to their forehead immediately to prove their innocence. But for some reason, nothing happens. The talismans don't burn up, and when they try to take it off, it can't be removed. Hua Cheng figures out what is happening and says in a low voice, "Gaga, crouch down." Xie Lien immediately follows his instructions, and Hua Cheng covers his ears. The cloaked figure also pulls the cloak over his head.
Oops. What happened? They're fighting?
Oolong gets territorial sometimes, and he just kicked Puar
Okay.
out of her bed.
Oh, poor Puar. He's not even using it.
He's not even using it. Oh my god.
That's so rude of you.
Oh my god, you're
That's
so
rude of
rude.
you.
What the hell?
You're so mean.
Puar, come over here.
Oh no.
Puar, little baby.
That's
you're
so
okay.
sad.
You're okay, little baby. I love you. It's okay. Come
That's
here,
so
baby.
sad.
Come here.
She just got fucking booted out
I
of her
know.
chair.
You know, I'm gonna hold her. She deserves
Aw,
love. Poor
poor
sweet
baby.
baby. It's okay.
Poor baby.
She gets
That's
bullied
it.
by him because he's bigger, but she's like got the alpha energy. But he's just like greedy.
Poor thing.
Okay, so continuing from where I said, the talismans don't burn up, and when they try and take him off, it can't be removed. Hua Cheng figures out what is happening and says in a low voice, "Gaga, crouch down." Xie Lien immediately follows his instructions, and Hua Cheng covers his ears. The cloak figure also pulls the cloak over his head and kneels to the ground. Soon after, boom, 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 boom. Like a series of firecrackers exploding, the loud rumbles roar to the skies. Why,
It was all a trick.
It's all a trick. Look at Puar. She's just like, I don't
Aw,
really want
she
to be
just-
held either.
She's like, I'm a scarf now.
She like doesn't necessarily like being manhandled. Oh my
Okay.
god, you're so cute.
Aw, but she's so cute. This is just becoming cat cast.
Mm-hmm.
Cat cast.
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
My sweet baby. I love her so
Aw.
much. Oh my god.
Aw.
Our cute kitties.
Just so squished. How are you that close to her face without like breaking out into allergies?
I know. My chest is all red. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh,
I've been hiding it
no.
with my hair.
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
I love you. Don't let your brother bully you. You're such
It's
a
too
sweet
late.
baby.
It's too late.
Oh my god, Domino looks like so content right now.
I know she loves like sleeping on my chest for some reason. Even though like her body right now is like super contorted underneath the desk.
Aww.
This is like her favorite position, and it's like so annoying. I can't do anything. I can't move my arms.
Oh, poor. No, stay with me. I love you. I love you so much.
Like, no, I must go. I must leave.
Mwah. Mwah. Giving them so many kisses.
Cute.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, let's leave our podcast on that little kind
Yeah,
of.
let's leave it here.
It's kind of like a cliffhanger because like what
It is.
happened.
A lot of explosions. What caused it all?
We are officially in the Moung Tonglu arc.
Yeah, we are. We're like in it. We're on the edges of it because they're at the edge of the mountains. It's like the first trial to get in. So at this point, it's like a sort of like Hunger Games.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone's like trying to kill each other, become the last one standing.
Yep.
Oh, but just as a reminder, the mission that they're on, they're not trying to kill all the ghosts. They're just trying to pinpoint the strongest of the ghosts so that they can kill the ones that are most likely to become ghost kings.
Mm-hmm.
So like
And
they don't care about all the weaklings.
It also feels like our boys are wildly unprepared.
Oh yeah, Xie Lien has never been here before. He's never like had to deal with Moung Tonglu, even though he's like lived for 800 years. He's like never like associated with it. So he's like he has zero idea what to expect. All of his advice is coming from Hua Cheng, who's like been through it before.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jun Wu was like, just go. See you later. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
I believe in
You're
you.
good. You got this.
I got some
Go
clerical
team,
work
go.
to do.
I know.
Ugh.
Basically.
God damn it, Jun Wu.
Uh,
All right. So, reading through some chat.
yeah.
Let's see. So was that Oolong's tail or Puar? So you could tell it's Oolong's tail when it's super, super fluffy. And you can tell it's Puar when it's very, very skinny.
Yes.
your allergy shots are making you great progress. I'm afraid of allergy shots. I don't want to do allergy shots.
What are allergy shots?
You can get, if you're allergic to cats, you can get allergy shots to help combat the allergy.
Oh, okay.
So instead of taking like an allergy medicine every day, you can get allergy shots, but it's like not really great for you.
Oh, like for your body?
Well, you're supposed to get it once a week, and sometimes it doesn't even work, so what's the point?
Once a week? That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of shots.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that.
Let's see.
Good thing I'm not allergic to cats, though, so I'm okay.
Yep, you're good. Yes, we are the thirsty ghosts.
We are the thirsty ghosts. Yes. Yes, we are.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, the cat's brawling, and I have to protect Puar.
Poor baby.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to see my chest, you can kind of see it's just like red hives.
Oh yeah, I see some streaks.
Yep.
There's some lines going
hiding
on.
it with my hair.
Your hair. It's fine. How will they know? How will they know?
How will they know? All right, so let's talk about our off topics today.
Okay, mine's spicy.
Excellent. That's exactly what I like to hear.
I was like about to send it to you, but then I was like maybe I'll just save it for the podcast so that you can read it later. But so this one's like brand new. Like she just wrote it like 2 days ago, or she posted it 2 days ago. It's called "Man on My Mind" by Brookline Girl. And she's actually known for writing a lot of spicy fiction. So if you want to read the rest of her writing, like I highly recommend. This is a Moda Zishi fanfic, and it's modern times. And so Lan Chang is a dude, but he gets really, really horny a lot. So he's like, you know, as one does, like looking for porn on the internet, and he comes across Wei Ying, who is a sex cam worker. And there's very minimal, like there's some plot in here, but it's very thin. I'm just gonna say that the description of the scenes that are happening on this webcam stream are very, very spicy. Read at your own risk. But you should, Stella, you need to read this one. You need to read this one. It's so good. It's so good. And what I really liked about it, like, 'cause there's a lot of sex cam or sex worker fanfics out there, but this one kind of touched on what it's like to date someone who is a sex worker, because when Lan Chang first comes across Wei Ying, he doesn't like know him as a person. He's like just like a fan of his work, and then like a few days later, he actually ends up meeting Wei Ying in person because his brother has a new boyfriend, the older Nia brother, and the younger Nia, what's his name? Huaisong comes, Huaisong comes over with Wei Ying because they're best friends, and they just came by to swing by because he like forgot his keys, so he's just picking them from his older brother. But they decide to stay for lunch with the rest of them, and so like Lan Chang doesn't know that Wei Ying is the same Wei Ying that's on camera because like his face is cut off, but he like falls in love with him, and then later on, but he noticed that there's like a mole on his chin, right, and his voice is really familiar, and then when he goes to like go home and like masturbate, and he watches another new video, he's like, oh fuck, that's the fucking guy from brunch that I met earlier. And he's like, what do I do? Because like now they like know each other, and there's like a conflict of, you know, interest of like whether it's like morally okay to continue watching these like spicy videos. And then later on when they start dating, that like there's some like tension there. So I just thought it was a really interesting and kind of realistic way of what it's like to date a sex worker.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also very spicy. Of course, as it is. Yeah.
Great. So it's kind of similar to the one that I read last week, which was the clocking overtime one.
Oh yeah, because you're reading the that was the but that one was a different. Oh, that was a Urha, right? Urha fic.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like sex worker as well, but like not really, because I mean it was just Chu Wanning being a sex worker is just so, it's always so vanilla.
Oh no, Wei Ying is
spicy boy.
Wei Ying is a spicy boy.
I love it.
That's too funny. Yeah.
So mine this week was one that I read on like Thursday night. Okay. This past week, and I've texted you about it, and I'm like, I can't fall asleep, and you're like,
yeah.
Well, I don't know how to help you.
I'm sorry.
So
and wait, also it was the one that I had recommended to you on the podcast before.
And it, oh my god, was so good. So good. Yeah, it is. Oh god, it's so good. It's called 1,000 Gold Come and Go Stew.
Yep. Yep.
And you recommended it. It was so good. But here's my take on it. Okay.
Oh yeah, please. I would love to hear your take.
So you told us before that it is where Hua Cheng completely forgets about
cursed.
Yeah, he gets cursed. The entirety of Ghost City gets cursed. He doesn't remember Xie Lien, doesn't remember anything, and all of his memories are conveniently replaced with like convenient memories. So there's no way to actually convince Hua Cheng that like, hi, I'm your husband. We've been married for like over a year. We love each other. I'm a heavenly official. You're a ghost king. You love me. We met 800 years ago. Like there's no way for him to just
memory.
Yeah, because like if someone just came up to you and was like, by the way, like we've known each other forever, you wouldn't believe that. You think they're crazy. You'd probably kill them, right?
Yeah.
And so Xie Lien has to come up with this like brilliant idea of like how the fuck to convince his husband that, you know, to fall in love with him again. Because the only way to cure the curse is to kiss him with like affection.
Hua Cheng has to be the one to kiss Xie Lien. If Xie Lien initiates the kiss, it doesn't do anything.
Gotcha. Yeah, so there you go.
Hua Cheng has to want to kiss him and then kiss him.
Yeah. And so it's a self-pity fic in which you're only from Xie Lian's perspective and how Xie Lien has no confidence in himself. He believes that the only reason that Hua Cheng ever fell in love with him was because he saved his life 800 years ago. He thinks that he fell in love with him because of circumstance and not because of his own personality. And there's all these things that Xie Lien does that he thinks is the reason why Hua Cheng loves him, such as his cooking and the way that he has sex and some other things that's just like, oh, I'm pretty sure he like his jokes and stuff. Like he thinks like that's why he loves him, but then he realizes that maybe Hua Cheng was just humoring him, and that he's just like laughing at his jokes and liking his food because he
the scene
has
with the
to.
Food fucked me up because it was like he was like, oh, I'm just gonna cook him his favorite meal, and then Hua Cheng eats it and like spits it out. He's like, this is disgusting, and Xie Lien's like fucking so sad because he's like, he's never said anything mean about his food. Like everyone says mean things about his food, but Hua Cheng's the only person who says nice things about his food, and he literally just spit that shit out when he lost his memory. So it's like, oh, he doesn't even like your food in the first place. Like he's just pretending.
It's so sad. And as you're reading the fic and you watch Hua Cheng slowly fall back in love with Xie Lien, and you micro analyze everything Hua Cheng does, and you compare it to like the first, you know, few chapters, few paragraphs, you realize that like Hua Cheng has such sympathy for Xie Lien. Like as soon as Xie Lien's like, oh yeah, you don't like it, that's okay, I'm just a failure, Hua Cheng's like heart, you can see it melting, and him like the next time, instead of being like, huh, you suck, it's like, you know what, this is better than last time.
Like how Hua Cheng normally was. He's like, yeah, it's good. He just needs a little bit more spice or something.
You know, like
he just literally needs some more water. Like,
it's so constructive instead of like being mean to him. Because like
spitting it out.
It's like slowly over the time, like Hua Cheng's personality is to want to bully people and want to step on people, but he over time realizes that like Xie Lien, he doesn't want to step on him. He wants to like be nice to him and make him feel good because his like self-esteem is so low. And it's just like watching that happen made me like cry. I literally cried. I was crying and sobbing in bed, and I had to read it twice. Like this is now my favorite fic. Like
it is.
It is now my favorite fic. It made me cry so much, and like I thought maybe I was crying because I was like tired or something. But when I read it the second time, it hit even harder, and I even like somehow so after finishing it. It's so good. After finishing it, the next day I was at the convention and I saw some Xie Lien, Hua Cheng cosplayers, and I told them about the fic.
Oh my goodness, that's so cute.
I told them about the fic, and they apparently tweeted about it or something because they were like, oh, I recognize this author, and they tweeted it to the author like, hey, this like cosplayer recommended one of your new fics, and she's like, so what?
It's so good. It's so good.
They tweet at me, and I'm like, it's my favorite. And the author's like, what is going on? And I'm like, hello, I'm a big fan.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yeah, apparently the author was at Anime NYC, but only on Friday.
Oh, we totally missed them. I would have loved to meet them. They're such good writers.
So I've been DMing them, and I told them, please write that fic, but from
can they come on the podcast and talk about the writing process?
Exactly. Oh, there's gonna be I have got to talk to you about this later, but I want guests for our podcast for sure, 100%. But yeah, so I told her that I wanted her to write the exact same fic but from the perspective of Hua Cheng. I really want to watch Hua Cheng slowly break down his walls and fall in love with Xie Lien freshly.
Yes.
Because when you read the fic, you can see just like eventually it goes from like minor infatuation to obsession to literal worship. Like there's this,
like he goes back to how he fell in love with him in the first place.
There's this one scene in which like he's like out of breath and completely like his eyes are blown out and he's like completely in awe and he says, "What are you?" And Xie Lien says, "I'm a god, silly."
Yeah.
And when he says that, I was like, wow, this dialogue is amazing. Holy shit. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It was perfect because it's like Xie Lien's like so innocent, but also a little bit cocky. And then it's like
the times when he gets spicy, like when he's like cussing or when he's like playing a trick or like when he's not being like the ideal like saintly person that everyone thinks that he is, like those are the best times when they see his personality.
Yeah, so that scene, I had to reread it over and over because it was just so perfect in terms of like Hua Chen's reaction of like the glass breaking, him realizing that Xie Lien is everything he's ever wanted.
He's perfect. They're perfect for each other. They're just so in love. I love him. So good. So good.
So yeah, that was my off topic, you guys. Yay. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching us live on YouTube as well as our first YouTube live stream. And if you'd like to support us, you can find us on Patreon at BLHQ, where we post a lot of extras, such as the Bottom Show, which is an extra episode that we record after each one of our podcast episodes. And it could be about anything. It could be a reaction to the chapters we're reading, or it could be about other new fics or manhwas that we've been reading.
Right.
We also post the uncut and our show notes, so you can follow along if you'd like to read it instead of listen to it. I mean, it's up to you.
Yes, absolutely. And as Hua Cheng said, I might not be able to decide whether the road is easy or not, but whether I walk it is entirely up to me.
These quotes.
Yay.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Awesome.
And that's the end of the podcast, you guys. We're gonna head on over to our own thing. We'll see you all later. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Yes.